Ready to add a little bit of flair to your memory keeping? Come join me and I'll show you a fun idea using the new Dynamic Duo Dainty Roses for your next memory keeping layout. See you in a bit. Hi there, and welcome to a new episode of Inspired by a Card with Natalie. Today we're going to be working with the new Dynamic Duo Dainty Roses to actually create a memory keeping layout, which is going to bring a lot of flair and a little bit of pizzazz to your memory keeping or your card because it's a great idea to create a card. And this is a great set because you can actually customize it to your needs or to whatever, your imagination at that moment. The inspiration for this week is from Christine Slagen, and I love her card. It's actually from a new product. There's a freebie in the store. So I'm going to start by creating my roses, and you're going to see that I'm going to bring a lot of colors. I'm bringing some of the new inks here too, and it's very simple to actually create these flowers. I'm going to use the stencil, and it's actually a set of two stencils. One is going to create your roses, which I'm going to show you right now, because I'm actually not going to use the image as is. I'm going to break it apart for this layout. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a combination of fresh dye inks. So for some of my roses, I am using Pink Crystals, Mauve, and Berry Licious, which is one of the newest colors from the fresh dye inks. I'm also going to use Pale Mauve, Amethyst, and Grape Agate, which is part of the Sugar Plums fresh dye inks. Again, one of the new releases in the round inks. I'm also going to use a combination of Frosty Pink, Mauve, and Dusty Pink to create kind of a pinkish tone of roses. And I'm also going to go with Pastel Sunrise Blush and Canyon Lake because I wanted something a little bit orange. You're going to see that I have quite a bit of different tones of colors of flowers. And I looked at Christine's card and she had like this kind of orangey pinkish tones. And I'm only introducing a little bit of purple kind of moving into my flowers. So all I'm doing is just following the pamphlet or the insert that comes in the stencil just to create my flowers. And I'm going to use the stamp to actually add the detail to the flowers. And I'm actually going to use Obsidian ink because I want to accent this little part. And this is what's going to tie all my flowers and the look of this page together. So you're going to see that I'm going to take it off camera. You're going to see I'm going to bring in the colors so you see what the color combination is. But once I create all of them, I'm actually going to go ahead and fussy cut just the flowers. Like I said, I am not going to create the image as is in the pamphlet. I'm actually going to break up the image because I want to use the flowers separately. So now that I created my flowers, I'm going to go ahead and start creating the leaves. And now if you look at the stencil, the leaves create this kind of a branch or like a little spray of the flower. I'm going to break it up because I want to have leaves on one side, I want to have flowers, and I want to have the little buds. I want to have the freedom to move them around to create different clusters. So once again, I am following the stencil. You can look at all the steps inside the pamphlet that comes in this set, and then just to create the colors to create the leaves and the buds for my layout. And once again, I am using one of the newest inks, and this is aloe vera, matcha tea, swamp green, and oak moss. I'm using a combination of the four colors for the different tones of my leaves. And once again, I'm going to use the stamp that comes in the Dynamic Duo Dainty Roses just to add the detail, and I'm using black obsidian ink. So you're going to see I went out of the camera and fussy cut everything. There's not a die that matches this set. But so I had to do a little bit of work outside of the camera. One of the things that I am going to use the same as Christine used is the Ornate Nesting Die because I love that shape and I really like what she did with it. So one of the things you have to keep in mind is I'm creating a layout for a 6x8 album. So I have to go and get a legal size cardstock. This is 80, I think it's 65-pound cardstock. And I'm going to measure 7 inches of any side and I'm going to create a fold. And then I'm going to trim my page. Once I fold my page, I'm going to trim it to the 7 inches. I'm going to say 7x8. Once I have that, I'm going to make sure that the part that opens up is on the left of my page because that's where the biting holes are going to go. And then I'm going to place the largest ornate die right on the center, keeping in mind that I have to add my binding holes on the left. And I'm going to fold the page and cut it all at once so I have the right spacing on both sides of the paper. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to sandwich, that's the best way to explain it, a piece of acetate between the two openings. I want to have that see-through look that I can see through the page and create that, kind of add a little bit of interest to my page. Once I have that, I am actually going to kind of follow the idea that Kristen had on her layout and just adding a big cluster of all the color of the flowers right at the bottom of the cutout of the ornate design. And you're going to see that at the bottom, I'm literally going to hide the design of the layout. And I'm, sorry, not the layout, of the die. And I'm okay with that. You're going to see that I am not afraid to die cut the images to make them work for me. I'm actually a pro of like telling you that you should not be like, a slave in a way, or just like, you have to make the die cuts work for you. That means you have to cut them. That means you have to be inventive with them. Go ahead. This is the beauty of like having, versatile products. And in this case, the dainty roses, the dynamic duo is actually a super versatile because just with the stencil, you can create the flowers and then you can use them as is, or you can break it apart, which is what I'm doing. So you're going to see that I actually place at the front of my layout, I place the flowers at the bottom of the design. Before I move on, I'm going to actually turn the page and I'm going to make sure that I place flowers in the same position, making sure that I cover, like when you see through it, you're not going to see white spaces of the flowers. You might see a little peak here and there, but not like complete shapes. I want to make sure that I create that illusion that there's flowers are kind of floating on the two sides of the paper. Once I have that, I'm going to go at the top. I want to make sure that I don't cover the entire shape of the ornate die at the top. So I'm going to stay with the cluster of flowers just on the left-hand side of my layout. And you're going to see that, like I said, I'm keeping it very simple. I'm just playing with the colors and the flowers just to have like, I want to tell you that there was not a organized idea. I just play with them until they look nice. Now, to create the sentiment here, I'm going to use this is the slim nesting die set, label die set, and I'm going to go with the smaller label. I'm going to cut it twice because remember, I want to have the idea that the label is floating in the acetate. For the front of it, I'm going to use the Dynamic Duo stamp set, the Dainty Roses stamp set, to add the word hey there. And then there's going to be August using some puffy stickers from my stash because that's the month that I need to document. I'm really behind on my documenting. And then I'm going to make sure that I flip the page and I place the other label right on the same space so you don't see like, the front or back. You're going to see that I'm going to add a few enamel dots, some gold enamel dots, because in the card that Kristen created, she added quite a bit of shine that way, and she embossed too, so I'm going to work the same way. Now for the back of my page, I'm not adding anything because I don't know what story I'm going to tell right there, but I have the starting point for it. And I'm going to tell you that I love how this turned out. I love how this turned out. It was something that's been playing in my mind. And I hope you enjoy it. As always, you can find all the details on the blog. And, I would love to hear your comments. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, guys.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Alternate YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!